guards approaching. Please select a mission. Mission accepted.
Rescue the 2 prisoners being held in a guard post to the southwest of Ngumba Industrial Zone. The targets are civilians, 1 male, 1 female. Apparently they're specialists sent out there to investigate infectious diseases. They were frequent visitors to that devil's house at Nzoya. If you recover them, we'll finally be able to get first-hand accounts of what's been going on in that place.
Enemy presence detected. The map has been updated.
Coming too.
Caution.
Roger that. Subject on board. Leave the rest to us. Coming too. Roger that.
Boss, an enemy squad is on its way to the guard post. Watch yourself.
Extraction arrived at Mother Base. You have arrived at your destination. Enemy presence detected. The map has been updated.
Check her face. See if she's a target. Target extracted. You gonna extract him?
Development complete. Development complete. Help me! The map has been updated.
You need to help her.
Come to rescue me. I was asked to show that man around.
Subject on board. Leave the rest to us. Amazing, boss. Getting both prisoners out in that situation.
Mission
Great work.
has been
Now
updated.
exfiltrate.
Enemy presence detected. The map has been updated.
You gotta extract him. Subject on board. Leave the rest to us. You gotta extract him.
Please select a landing zone. A support helicopter
Roger.
requested. Extraction arrived at Mother Base.
This is Pequod. Arriving shortly at LZ. This is Pequod. On station at LZ. Gaining altitude.
Development complete.
Departing.
Boss, we placed the 2 targets in quarantine. They don't show signs of anything, but we'll monitor them just the same. If they had access to the Devil's House, I doubt they were sent there by some health organization. Cypher used them, and would have eliminated them eventually. But we'll protect them here. They've agreed to that. After all, we helped them out of the country as promised. The mission's complete. But boss, they've been behind the curtains at Ngumba. They examined the patients there nearly every day. They told us the patients were being made to listen to voices on tape. But the male target added something interesting. He said he doesn't know what was on the tapes because there was no English version. Of all the voices that were shoved down those people's throats, English was one of them.
The boss is back. Let's go refuel and load up on artillery.
We're good to go, Chief.
What's the matter?
Stop this! Now! Give me a hand! Hold her still! Dismissed.
Payback for how they treated her?
Doesn't explain the others. She had every chance to kill them. Tight security on her cell. This happens a second time. There won't be a third.
Boss, about Eli.
Welcome home.
I'd heard that one product of the Les Enfants Terribles project went missing in Africa. The age would be about right. Now, I'm not saying I think it's Eli, but I want to run a genetic test all the same. Don't worry, I'll have it done without him noticing. The test may take some time, but I'll tell you as soon as we have the results.
Spit it out.
Please landing zone confirmed.
Roger.
This is B-Quad. Arriving shortly at LZ. This is B-Quad. On station at LZ. Gaining altitude.
Please specify a project. Please select a mission. Mission accepted. Heading to Central Africa.
Your mission objectives are to extract the child soldier's commander and their captive, the General's number 2. This child soldier platoon decided to break away from the Mbeli militants. They took the number 2 captive and have occupied an abandoned village. Start by checking that location on your map. Boss, the child soldiers will treat you as an enemy, but they're just kids. See that they don't get hurt.
The map has been updated.
Be careful down there, boss.
Reconnaissance is best conducted from high vantage points. I've marked a good spot on your map. Take a look at your iDroid.
The map has been updated. You have arrived at your destination.
That's the target prisoner. Okay, that's the general's brother, his number 2. Get him out of there, boss.
Pangia, General V, mu ke montia, nabo V, nge me wakayo V, mu fuaka, General, mu utibila kayandi, nina, salaka,
Okay, subject is in.
Mayandi. Mumuntu pesaka bana nyonso.
Please select a landing zone.
Nuanisa General. Atabo.
Please support helicopter
Roger.
requested.
Pangia General ya Bakala. Kilumbu Mosi tata ya Bankaka na Mono Telaka Mono Mambu General Salaka. Bantu ya Buta Tiyambele Ketinkaka Mosi Beto Nyonso ke Bampangi Atampidina Yayi Kentango.
This is B-Quad. Arriving shortly at LZ. This is B-Quad. On station at LZ.
All that's left is to extract the commander.
Support helicopter has arrived. Extraction arrived at Mother Base.
Good work.
Development project has been added. Enemy presence detected. The map has been
Another group of
updated.
child soldiers. No, must be a squad they had out on patrol. Security will be tighter now. Watch yourself. Is that him? Take a good look at their faces so we can ID the targets.
Équipez-vous!
Guard post
There he
captured.
is, the commander.
The map
Extract him.
has been updated. Police support helicopter
Roger.
requested.
This is B-Quad. Arriving shortly at LZ. This is B-Quad. On station at LZ.
You've completed your objective. Now get out of the hot zone.
Gaining
Mission
altitude.
has been updated.
Departing.
Extraction
Subject on board.
arrived at
Leave the
Mother
rest to
Base.
us. Boss, about how we report this one to the client. I'll tell them we took heavy resistance from the renegade platoon and the hostage was killed in the firefight. Also, their leader wouldn't let himself be taken alive. I doubt the client will pay us for this one, but we got a big enough reward from the General's #2 instead. And as for the #2, he's saying he wants to join Diamond Dogs. I guess he knows what that means for him. He said, if I'm working for you, I can be #2 or #200 for all I care.
Mission
Look
list
closely.
updated.
Those are the symptoms of the infection on Mother Base. The blisters on the body were full of tiny worms. Parasite larvae, most likely. But we couldn't find any adults. It doesn't seem to mature in the body, like a spargatum. We don't know the root of infection, or what causes symptoms to develop.
Boss, do you remember seeing these symptoms before? The bodies floating around in the oil facility, the bedridden test subjects at the Devil's House. This epidemic looks just like what we've seen on our hunt for Cypher.
So this is the weapon of mass destruction Cypher was working on in Africa.
Boss, the situation is urgent. We need to quarantine the infected and contain the pathogen. Priority now is to prevent more casualties.
But the problem is, how do we tell who's infected? During the incubation period, we have no way of knowing who's clean. You'll have to try and guess who's infected before they go symptomatic and quarantine them. That'd be easy if we just knew the route or vector of the infection. From now on, if you even suspect a staff member's infected, use your iDroid to order them into quarantine. Given the situation, the men won't submit to quarantine just because I or the medical team tell them to. But they will listen to you. Of course, it's just a temporary measure until we find a permanent solution. But at least they'd be in solitary isolation so they won't infect each other, and we get the mental care they need. If we do nothing, we'll only lose more people. We have no choice. Boss, open your iDroid. I'll explain how to quarantine staff members suspected of infection. Go to the Mother Base menu and select Staff Management.
Select unit.
First, take a look at the quarantine facility
Staff
we've set
has
up.
been quarantined.
We'll isolate anyone who's already symptomatic at the quarantine facility. But we have to expect that there are multiple staff who are infected, but asymptomatic. So how do we identify them? At present, we have no way to tell them apart. but there has to be something for us to go on. If you notice anything, reassign staff you suspect are infected to the quarantine facility. We'll monitor them and then contact you if there's a change in their condition. Correctly quarantining these asymptomatic infected will reduce the number of new infections. You should continue with your missions as usual. If Cypher is behind this, going after them should help us determine the root cause of this epidemic. Also, until we identify the pathogen, we can't fire or dispatch any staff. We cannot let this thing spread. Boss, get to the bottom of this fast. We're counting on you. Look closely. Those are the symptoms of the infection on Mother Base. The blisters on the body were full of tiny worms. Parasite larvae, most likely. But we couldn't find any adults. It doesn't seem to mature in the body, like a spargatum. We don't know the root of infection, or what causes symptoms to develop. The infection rate, along with the number of dead, are both on the rise. If we don't find the cause, and soon...
Boss, do you remember seeing these symptoms before? The bodies floating around in the oil facility, the bedridden test subjects at the Devil's House. This epidemic looks just like what we've seen on our hunt for Cypher. It could be a counterplay by Skullface.
That's insane. You mean they weaponize parasites?
Parasites as weapons. That definitely falls under the Biological Weapons Convention, but it's something the world would never see coming. And no one's ever developed a vaccine for parasites.
So this is the weapon of mass destruction Cypher was working on in Africa.
It may be. But if it is, how do the Yellow Cake and Walker Gears fit in? There must be something bigger we're not seeing. Anyway, our priority now is to prevent more casualties.
The medical team is studying the infection, but we can't treat anyone until we know the root cause. All we can do right now is halt the spread of infection. Remember before, boss? When Quiet attacked one of our guys on Mother Base, stuck a knife in his mouth. He's one of the very few soldiers who've had contact with her recently. Close contact. I don't think it's a coincidence that he was among those who became symptomatic pretty early on in this epidemic. Saliva and blood spatter, an open wound, mucosal infection. Whatever is causing this got inside him then.
Miller, that is a baseless accusation.
The source of the infection is Quiet. Everyone suspects her.
We don't know that. And we've come across these symptoms before. The bodies in the water at the oil-filled facility, those sick people in the beds at the Devil's House. They're identical to what we've seen while we've been after Cypher. The infection could have come from elsewhere. But at the very least, she does know something.
It's not like she's gonna talk.
No, not through words anyway. But what about her actions? Quiet held a knife to that soldier back then, before he became symptomatic. There must have been a reason for that.
A reason for shoving a knife down the throat of one of our men.
What if she's capable of identifying who's infected? What if she was trying to stop the infection but couldn't communicate that to us? The answer to that, the source of the infection, might be in the mouths of the infected.
You think there's some kind of clue in their mouths?
I don't know. But maybe there's something about the mouths of those who've become symptomatic, something in common.
Something their mouths have in common. Forget it. We can't trust her. Even if she can spot the infected, I don't want her help.
I understand how you feel. But this is something to go on.
Can't you see it's just like I said? Bringing her here was a big mistake. Quiet is gonna be the end of us.
Stand down. You've got zero proof. Try to keep an open mind on this, boss. There has to be a way to identify who's infected.
Please select a mission. Mission accepted.
There's a PF logistics officer who works as a human trafficker on the site. The client wants him dead. He's currently on the run somewhere on the savannah with bodyguards. Unfortunately, we don't know what route they're taking. All we have to go on is a coded transmission sent by the PF at the Ditati abandoned village. It appears to be a workup of the target's security plans, but to decipher it, we'll need an intel file with the encryption key. This key should be at the comms facility at the Ditati abandoned village. Check your iDroid to see what the target looks like, as well as the location of the village. Find the route. Find the man.
Be careful down there, boss.
The map has been updated. Marker placed. Extraction arrived at another base.
That's an enemy guard post. Boss, let's try somewhere else.
Guard post captured. The map has been updated.
Subject on board. Leave the rest to us. You got to extract him.
You have arrived at your destination.
He's coming too. Roger that.
Marker placed. Extraction arrived at another base. You have arrived at your destination. Clouds approaching. Enemy presence detected. The map has been updated.
That's the target. Eliminate him, however you see fit.
The map has been updated.
You gotta extract him. Subject on board. Leave the rest to us.
Please select a landing zone.
Roger.
Mission info
He's coming
has
too.
been updated.
Roger
Support
that.
helicopter requested.
Good dog.
This is Pequod. Arriving shortly at LZ. This is Pequod. On station at LZ. Gaining altitude. Departing.
Extraction arrived at Mother Base.
Our trafficker was very talkative. Guinea pigs. That's what became of his kidnapped victims. Says he got a good look at that factory at Zoya Badiabulu when he dropped off some fresh guinea pigs for them, along with our man without a face. His instincts told him to run like the rat he is. Said it wasn't worth the money. Figured he could be next. That's when he went to the NGO for help. He thought that in exchange for his buyer's list, they could set him up with a new identity someplace far away. He had an idea who he was up against, and he didn't want to take any chances. A true rat. But like us dogs, he knew when he smelled trouble. And something else. He said the specimens come from deep in the forest. We don't know what he meant by specimens just yet, but those guinea pig symptoms match what we've seen on the infected at Mother Base. Deep in the forest. Maybe there's the clue we need to beat this infection. Boss, the truth could be right around the corner.
Side ops list updated.
Boss, we finally heard from
Mission
one of our
list
missing intel team
updated.
members. He says he has a solid lead on the epidemic at Mother Base. Take a look at the mission details ASAP.
Please select a landing zone. Heading to Mother Base.
Boss, about Eli. No matter how many times we talk to him, he just won't listen. He sees everything in terms of victory or defeat and still won't accept that you beat him. We're gonna have to put him in his place. Again. If you don't mind, come back to Mother Base and go another round with him.
complete. Development complete. Development complete.
As
Side-off
that brat
completed.
finally accepted that he lost, hopefully now he'll be a bit more
Extraction
obedient.
arrived at Metabase. Please landing zone confirmed.
Roger.
This is B-Quad. Arriving shortly at LZ.
Please specify project.
This is B-Quad. On station at LZ. Gaining altitude.
Please specify project. Please select a mission. Mission accepted. Heading to Central Africa.
A member of the intel unit has gotten a lead on the epidemic that's crippling Mother Base. The problem is, our man has been captured by the PF in his operation. operation area. He's being held at the guard post on the western end of the mine. Boss, we need you to get him out ASAP. Right now, he's our only link to the root cause of the epidemic.
Extraction arrived.
Check the VI on your iDroid. That's where the target is being held.
Enemy presence detected. The map has been updated.
You gotta extract him. Subject on board. Leave the rest to us. He's coming too. Roger that. Boss got an emergency report from the intel team. A vehicle has fled the guard post heading northwest. The prisoner at the wheel appears to be the target. He escaped on his own. The target is no longer at the designated position. Find that vehicle fast. You gotta extract him. Did you see that explosion? There's smoke. The target's crashed his vehicle. That'll bring the enemies down on him in no time. The target's in danger. Get to the scene of the crash. Where's the target? That's the target. That's fine. I'll send the chopper. Get the target to the RV.
Please select a landing zone. Landing zone confirmed.
Roger.
Enemy presence detected. The map has been updated.
Subject on board. Leave the rest to us.
Please select landing zone confirmed.
Roger.
Caution, rain approaching.
This is B-Quad. Arriving shortly at LZ. This is B-Quad. On station at LZ.
Flawless work. You never cease to amaze, boss.
Exfiltrated
That's
hot
it.
zone.
You've made it out of the hot zone. No sign of the enemy. Mission complete, boss.
Departing.
Mission complete. And the target safe. Time to figure out what the hell is behind this epidemic. Boss, the intel team member you extracted was DOA. He kept insisting we listen, right up until his last breath, about the pathogen, and the old man who knows how to treat it. Code Talker. He even told us where he is. Boss, let's make sure his death was the last. It's high time we met this Code Talker.
Mission list
Boss,
updated.
you need to make contact with Code Talker, the old man who knows what the pathogen is. We have to stop this disease that's spreading across Mother Base. Select the mission on your iDroid.